May 2024 for Trump's trial. That would be, of course, right in the middle of the campaign as you go into the 24 season, November being the big day. So it would obviously be a massive distraction. And this is why he and his team keep saying this is a form of election interference. I mean, this is just one of the many trials, right? Because they just keep coming. The hits keep coming. They just announced another one, or rather he did, said he was going to be indicted on another one just the other day. This all happens as the stakes rise on both sides. I mean, you get the RFK nonsense going on. The Democrats just want to take the guy out. They didn't even imagine this. Imagine you have a hearing there in Congress about censorship, and you invite RFK to come and speak, RFK Jr., and then you try and censor him. They actually did that. They said, well, because he's made some of these inflammatory comments and he has said some things. Like, don't get me wrong, he's said some things and some of them have been rather questionable, especially if you take them out of context, et cetera. And consequently, they said, well, he's not responsible enough to be in this hearing. And so they wanted to censor him by bringing him behind closed doors. Well, you understand the problem with that, or the irony, I should say, of that. In the meantime, you get Chuck Grassley. There's Senator Grassley with his 1023 form, and this form is unverified, but from the FBI, and it's interviewing somebody, and they're basically accusing Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, and actually the Biden family, of taking quite a bit of money from foreign sources. So none of that's actually been technically confirmed, but where there's smoke, there's fire. People say, I only go back to what happened with the dossier, right? Remember the dossier? And it was so insanely irresponsible of our FBI not to properly investigate that. That was unverified, and yet they went forward and did a whole host of things that frankly were just so over the top and designed to take out Donald Trump back then. Well, now you just want to make sure, at least I do, and I'm just trying to be fair here, that things get verified before they're out there and people are making these accusations. It wouldn't surprise me, of course, and my bias on that one, but I do think that there's a total lack of responsibility on all sides. And I think Americans feel this. I think Americans are sick of this, and I don't blame them for being sick of it. I want to share with you some data that shows you how sick they are of it. They're not donating to campaigns anymore. In fact, if you look at Democrats and their donations, grassroots donations, I'm talking about, mom and pop out there in the middle of the country, $15.2 million has been donated thus far to Democrats. You compare and contrast that with how much had been donated just 2 years ago to the Democrat Party. It was $23.5 million. So they've plunged. That's a pretty big decrease. But it's not just happening to Democrats, because if you look at Republicans, they've only collected $7.1 million. Oh, gosh, that's like, half. Less than half what the Democrats have actually collected. So the Republicans have got some work to do on the grassroots thing. And you compare and contrast that to 2 years ago when they got $20.6 million in the door by this time for grassroots efforts. So it shows you that people have just kind of reached the tipping point. They're sick of it. And I get it. I understand it. I'm kind of sick of it too. It's this constant barrage that we're getting. They keep going after Trump and they keep announcing new lawsuits. And you're like, what the heck is going on? And in the meantime, we're learning about all this alleged stuff with Joe Biden and his family. And then you're really like, what is going on? It is just nauseating and it's just disgusting. It makes you realize why you don't like any of these politicians to begin with, why we can't really trust either party. And I think that's reflected in Americans' sort of distancing of their wallets, shall we say, as they should. That's smart right now, from both of these parties. All that said, I would just say this, you know what? There is so much at stake in the here and now. It's really important that we care. And it's really important that we care because this is our future and it's our children's future. Hey everyone, Trish Regan here. If you enjoyed that clip, please do me the favor of subscribing to the channel. Just hit that little subscribe button right over there. Did I do that right? Not quite, but you know where it is. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so that you get the alerts, and I'll see you back on the show.